Hey guys, it's Nesk here. So since we've gotten these pretty substantial updates to our AoE, I thought I would do a small maybe guide about running Mythic Plus with our new abilities, because I think we're in a pretty good place right now. I've been running quite a few Mythic Pluses this week, and I've had pretty good results actually. And this is without our 7, or I think it's gonna even out to about 5 or 4% damage increase that we're gonna get on the 19th. So this is we're in a really good spot overall. But I think what I might be able to help people with is how you're gonna want to approach Mythic Plus, because it's it can be a bit involved if you wanted to, and it can become quite complex. So hopefully I can help some people out who are struggling with Mythic Plus and doing decent damage, etc. So in my previous video, I mentioned the best, or I mentioned some builds for Mythic Plus, and so I sort of want to mention it now as well. That you're gonna want to run a Predator in the first tier, and then Brutal Slash. Personally, I don't really see a way to recommend our AoE rip just yet. I think it's too weak. Though, frankly, I've only ran 11s and 12s, so my experience with the really high-end keys is sort of non-existent at the moment. So it could be the case that AoE rip is really strong for those scenarios, but I just don't know. I just don't have the experience with it. So Brutal Slash is going to be the way to go. And the plague style is going to be, that's the part that's going to be pretty intricate. You're going to have to do a lot of thinking while you're DPSing and while you're AoE DPSing. The way I've been doing it, and that's been giving me really good results, I'm playing some footage on the screen right now, where you can get a better idea of exactly how things work. But basically, what you want to do is, you want to dot up everything. You want to dot up everything. You want to do really big Brutal Slash burst AoE damage deals. But most importantly, you want everything to be dotted up. This means that if there's a pack of 5 targets that all have priority on dying, meaning that none of them have that none of them are infested, you're gonna want to DPS all targets, and you're gonna want to dot up all targets. Which for some this might feel a bit intense, because it can be. But ways that I've found it sort of helping out is by not prioritizing getting a really big Blood Talon rip on everything. Just realize that you don't have to play perfectly. You're still gonna do really good DPS, as long as every target is dotted up, and it doesn't have to be a strong dot. Just throw a rip on them, throw a rake on them, and then just maintain the bleeds on everything, and use Brutal Slash as long as there are more than 2 targets. Just use it whenever, and preferably while you have Tiger's Fury up. Yeah, and then on bosses, since we're no longer using Sabertooth because we have Predator, the way I would suggest doing it is by actually trying to always have 5 combo points available before a boss fight, so that you can get a really long duration Blood Talon and Tiger's Fury to rip up just at the start. I'm probably gonna show a footage of us killing Skype, like the first boss in Freehold, where I started with 5 combo points and just got a really big rip up right away. And that really shows you how much damage you can pull when you start off like on the right foot. So yeah, just some tips of how I perform fairly well in Mythic Plus, even without our December 19th buffs that we're gonna get fairly soon, which I personally haven't felt like we needed it, but I guess some people do, and I'm just sort of happy that I get some more damage to play with. But yeah, this is a very tiny guide about playing Feral in Mythic Plus. Hopefully people have questions that I can answer, because it's hard for me to know what people need help with, because I sort of know everything about, or I know a lot about Feral fairly well, so rather than going through everything, the basics that I can think of, I sort of want to go through like rough things. So hopefully people have questions that I can answer, rather than just going over all I can think of. So this was one of the main things that I noticed when playing Mythic Plus is just how to play. Just dot everything up, big brutal slashes, trying to buff Thrash preferably, since Thrash is it's really strong as an AoE ability. It's not as strong as a single target ability, obviously. So just trying to get that buffed up, just getting rips and rakes on everything, just having brutal slash, like big brutal slash crits going all the time. That's really the way to go, I think. I haven't been able to do that many really high keys. Hopefully that's gonna change come next week, etc. Because I just don't have the score to do it right now. Because Feral hasn't really been a Mythic Plus spec until this patch. So yeah, hopefully people get something out of this. And just let me know if you have any questions. See ya.